We're gonna wait. We have like 2 or 3 minutes, so we'll wait, and I'll share with you about our crazy day. So
crazy day.
Hang tight. Hang tight. So nice to see everyone.
I said you look like you're sitting in the canyon.
That's what we try to do, but if I go this way, you get the whole canyon, but you don't see me.
Yeah, I see. That's cute.
So now you see me, the kitty behind me, and the part of the canyon.
Cute.
But I've got my Oswit shirt on.
More sheep, less brawl.
Yay!
Yay.
Excellent. We'll wait a couple minutes, obviously, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to ask everyone to mute, because we learned today what happens when people don't mute, because the meeting had 146 people on it. So yeah, exactly.
Whoa. Okay, muting. I'm muting now.
What was the meeting with 146 people?
That was a meeting today, so I'll explain all that. I see Beverly. Yay! Seeing who is here. I'm assuming I can see everybody who comes on. Oh, we have 2 pages. Ah! Look, hi, Jeff. Lucy. Okay, so we have several pages. Christy, great. Lisa. All right, so we have lots of pages. So just so you guys know, you can actually, if you prefer, you can change how you're looking at it. You can see everyone, and you can go through the several pages of people, or you can pin if you just wanted to see me, which is better to see everybody. And but that will be your choice. The one thing we definitely ask is to mute. So we'll give it 1 more minute. It's 5:01. Okay. Okay, one of our board members is having a hard time getting on. So I just sent him the link again. Okay.
Except that we were early.
Yeah, everyone was early. I think we're up to how many pages now of people? Yeah, we've got a lot of people on here. It's exciting.
Can you tap on the picture part and see whether or not we can?
What's that? Seeing who everyone is on. Oh, Colin is on. Good. Okay, guys.
Okay.
I don't want to be the person that penalizes people who are on time. So I am going to start. I didn't know how to share this final piece of the puzzle with everyone in this crazy world. And if this were pre-pandemic, we probably all would have been in Sacramento today. We probably all would have been speaking in support of this project. But it is what it is, and at least I'm able to see everyone. So I just want to tell you, today was very stressful. Incredibly stressful. To recap for those of you to understand this whole puzzle that we've been trying to put together for 5 years, we started this trying to save the canyon through an advocacy way. We went and we did signature gathering, we did an initiative, we did rallies, we did try to do a legislative change. We had lawsuits, we had appeals, we had other lawsuits. And at the end of the day, we realized the only way that we're going to save this canyon is if we own it. And that's when we started with mediation and negotiating with a developer to try to buy it. And in order to buy it, we also had to put together all this funding and find out where we were going to get the funding from. And it's been a tremendous, tremendous task. And where we were today, and I know a lot of people had questions about what today was, our sources of funding came from several different places. The federal government, the state government, the city, private donations. And the approval today was the last big chunk of money that we needed in order to put it all together and actually move to the next stage, which is a close. I will tell you, the meeting today was with a Wildlife Conservation Board, and it was so stressful that myself and the board members of Save Oswit Canyon and our attorney Beverly were texting each other during it, because the projects that were going before us, we weren't sure those projects were going to get passed, and there was so much controversy and there were so many questions, and we started second guessing ourselves, like, should we have had lots of speakers? Should we have, you know, swamped them with letters? And we just decided, you know what? We're just going to do what we've done. I'm going to speak on behalf of all of you. I'm going to tell them how important this canyon is to us, to our city council, to the residents, the visitors, the sheep, and everyone else. And I'm just going to speak from the heart. And that's what I did. And I will tell you, I usually don't get nervous, but I was so nervous because I knew it was our last piece of the puzzle, and I just didn't know what they were going to do. And they decided that they were going to put the decision off, and we were just losing our mind. And a brilliant woman who's on the board said, you know what, I think we need to vote on this agenda item now, so the people who came on can actually get off the phone. And they decided to do the roll call, and they did the roll call, and we were unanimously approved for the last piece of funding. Unbelievable. And you can unmute if everyone, I would love to hear you all. Unmute for a second.
Oh, you go,
Amazing.
So I will tell you, so remute. I will tell you that before this meeting, I've been working closely recently with Alex from the Trust for Public Land, who's an incredible person. And he has worked on these kind of projects for 15 years. And he told me last week, he said, you know, I have a strange thing I want to tell you. He said, every time I get to that last approval, he said, I get to the meeting in Sacramento and I'm sitting there and they start presenting our project and they show photos and they talk about the land. And he said, I don't know what happens to me. He said, but I become a blubbering mess. Well, I will tell you, I know exactly what happens to him because it happened to me today. Soon as they unanimously approved it, just the tears came, and my husband who was sitting next to me, his tears came, and all of us were just so excited because it's the end of almost 5 years of work. So a couple things that I want to share with you. I'm not going to keep everyone on here so long, but there's a couple of really important things that I want to cover with you. One of the things that I will share with you. So, well, first of all, what happens next? So what happens next is we have all the pieces of the puzzle of where the funding's coming. So now we have to bring those pieces together and put them into escrow and close. And our attorney and myself and Jim with CDMC, we started that immediately today. So we are working toward that already. We're not wasting any time. We hope to close in 45 to 60 days. We will absolutely do a press conference at the Canyon at that time. And when it's safe for all of us to celebrate together, we will absolutely celebrate together. I promise you that. But I will tell you, one of the things that I will share with you once we close, we had a big hiccup, a huge hiccup in this deal. And I did not appeal to any of you. I didn't want to go public with it. I didn't want anything to cause any delays, but we were short. We were short in a very, very large way because one of our funding sources came in lower than we anticipated. And we had to tap into our reserves. Thankfully, we raised enough to have a reserves. And many of you, when we were hitting our mark, said, no, keep fundraising, keep fundraising. And I thank all of you for that encouragement because we needed it and we tapped into it. And it was a big shortfall, a big shortfall. But I was confident that this community will get behind us and continue to get behind us. So I don't even want to talk about it until we close because I don't want anything to get in the way. but I do want you to know that we absolutely still need donations. So please keep that in your mind. And if there's anything that you can do, and once you hear what the amount was, you're gonna say, oh my God, it was a mini heart attack or a major heart attack when I found out. But we figured it out, we made it work, and we're gonna continue to push ahead and make it work. So we have to pay taxes on the property once we close. We will eventually get an exemption because we're a 501c3, but that won't go through for about 18 months. So we have a lot of property taxes we're going to have to pay. So that's the funding part. And I don't want to hone on that, but I want you to know that it's there. And I think all of you know I wouldn't ask unless we needed it. And that will always be my policy, for my personal policy. I'm not going to ask just to ask. I'm only going to ask if we need it. So we do need it. There's a couple people that I have to thank. So first of all of you, everyone on this call, everyone on our Facebook page, everyone played a part. You know, it's been almost 5 years and it's been such a roller coaster up and down. And everyone had their own part, and you all know what your part was. Whether you wrote letters to the city council, the planning commission, you attended the rally, you led hikes, you took photos, you arranged a fundraiser, you attended a fundraiser, you collected signatures for the initiative, you attended press conferences. When you think what we've done in the last 5 years, it's incredible what we have achieved. And every single person had their part. And we just kept going and pushing everyone. This is what we have to do now. This is what we have to do now. And I always think of it as we were pushing this boulder up the mountain. And there were so many times that thing came rolling back. And you guys know, many of you know, because some of you I talk to on a daily basis, we would go back and then we'd push again. So all of you had such an important part. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can't thank every single person individually, but I want you all to know that this was not a project that was done alone. This is the community. And that's what I told the board today, that this is a project that is thousands of people behind it. But I do have to thank a few individual people, and I want you all, if you can, off the Zoom, to thank them as well. First of all, I think he's on here. I hope he's on here. Jim Karpiak from CVMC. I don't even know if he's on. I hope he's on. I'd have to go through the pages to see if he's on.
Yes, I'm on.
You're on.
I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thank you. There he is. Jim,
Sure.
just so you guys know, this would not have happened without this brilliant man. Jim has become my mentor. He's become my friend. He's become a therapist at times when we're ranting about something. And he was one of the first people I reached out to when I started this, when I stumbled on this canyon. And he explained to me how it all works. He pointed me in the right direction. He is the reason that this funding got put together. And Jim, if I could give you the biggest hug right now, you know I would. So thank you, Jim Karpiak.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. The other person, Andy Gibbs, I don't know if hopefully he's on. Andy, many of you know in the beginning, he was my partner in crime. We started this project together before he moved. And Andy, I can't thank you enough for your brilliance and hard work. Just a remarkable, remarkable individual. I don't know if he's on, but thank you, Andy, if you are, for sure. Our city, I will tell you, our city staff and our city council, Jeff, especially Jeff, Christy, and Lisa, you guys know what a lot of you don't know. Thank you. You guys, they know how many meetings we were in and out of, strategizing how we can make this work. And the three of you have become great friends in the making, and I love you for your support. And I thank the three of you and the city council as a whole and the staff for all their hard work on that. Next is only a couple more people, but I have to also, everyone kind of came in and out at different times of this project. And I was looking back at photos. I was like, wow, I remember during the initiative, like the signing, Will and Molly, they were such a big part of it. And then another time there was someone else and people came in and out. And in the last maybe 2 years, Rob McCann, you've really stepped it up. He has done tremendous work, and I thank you, Rob. He's a brilliant scientist. I love your mind and your support, so I love you for that. The next one, I only have 4 more. The next one is, there was so much work behind the scenes that you guys did not see that was done for the legal part of this project, from writing the initiative to making sure all the language is correct, to our lawsuit with the developer, to our appeal with the developer, to the mediation, to all the contracts. I could not have done this without our brilliant attorney, Beverly Palmer, who also never sent us a bill for all these years, trusting that we would pay her. And I know she wrote off so much. Beverly, thank you so much. I love you. I adore you. I know this is the first of many projects. And another person before I thank the last 2 is, I have to thank my husband. Even though he always says he's not the one doing the work, he listened to me day in and day out for 5 years about what was going on. Exactly. So thank you, honey, for being my support. And lastly, there were 2 guys who from the very beginning, from the very first Nextdoor post that I did, from the first time I created the Facebook page, the first Planning Commission meeting, these 2 guys have been with this project from day 1. They're still on board. They're unbelievable people. They're thoughtful, compassionate, hardworking. They're 2 of my best friends now, and I can't thank Mark Hendrick and David Lottie enough for all your hard work. I love you guys, so thank you so much for that. So those are my little thank yous, and all of you, really, we've had donors from $5 to $152,000. And I thank every single person who donated, whether it was $5 or $152,000, because every single dollar put this piece together, and every single one of you, that canyon, it belongs to you, and it belongs to all of us and all the sheep. And now I just want to tell you exciting news of what's next. So we felt, after all this work for 5 years, why are we going to stop now? We're on a roll. And if you love saving Oswit Canyon, I would please urge you to stick with us, stick with me, stick with our board, stick with everyone on this call, because we're going to do incredible work together. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the Mesquite Desert Preserve, and we're going to put these defunct golf courses to good use. And we're going to create a beautiful preserve in the city, in the middle of our city. And we are also looking at other very important pieces of land that needs to be saved. I've been having strategy calls for the last 2 weeks with all the land trusts in the area and the Fish and Wildlife, and figuring out where we're the most needed. And the one thing that has resonated with every single person that I've talked to, with every agency and every group, is that we are needed. And that was loud and clear. They want our enthusiasm. They want our energy. There's so much work to be done. So I would encourage you to make sure you stay in touch with the Facebook page. Once we close on the property, this is the last thing I want to let you know. I'm not doing anything until we close on the property, because we don't want anything to cause any hiccups. Once we close on the property, Save Oswit Canyon, Inc. is going to become Oswit Land Trust. And we're going to continue to do great work, and we're going to save other special pieces of land, just like our incredible Oswit Canyon. So we will all celebrate together when we can. And I love you all. I wish I could give you all a hug. And thank you so much. You can unmute, and I'd love to hear you all.
Yay, you!
Hey.
Yay, you! and Jane.
Thank
Congratulations.
you, Jane.
You should be
Thank you
proud.
so much,
Great job,
Jane.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you
much.
guys. I love you all, and we'll celebrate in person.
Yes, we will.
Thank you, Jane.
Lots of
Thank
love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
New York.
Hip, hip, hooray.
I can see it. Look at all these faces. Hi, Diane. Now I can see everyone. Lisa. Wow, I couldn't see everyone. All these pages.
Oh, there's Lisa Middleton.
So good. Thanks, you guys. It's so fun.
Thank you, Jane.
Rich.
Thanks, Jane.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thanks, Jane.
you.
Lots of love, everyone. Congratulations. Teamwork.
Ah, thank you. We can breathe.
Yes, yeah, we can go.